motorway just coming into Warsaw. It's actually my first time driving this motorway. This morning going that way, and today and this afternoon coming back in the afternoon, coming back up this way. So yeah, it's very good. It's a very nice motorway. I've waited, you know, my first visit to Warsaw by car, coming in from this side, from the Poznan side, was, as I've just mentioned, about 22 years ago, give or take a couple of days, and precisely, I'm in this situation now that I finally have got the ability to ride in right to from practically the border of Poland into Warsaw itself all the time on roads of this quality. After 22 years, they were finally finished, of course, just before the Euro. I did something as part of the Euro series. I'm talking about the football, the European Football Championships of 2012. So that was back in the summer, and I did a little bit, just a tiny bit of footage of riding along it. But there was no point in riding along it too far because I didn't have any reason to be coming down to. That's interesting, isn't it? It looks like they're not allowing all the way to Warsaw. That's a bit strange. Could that be that they're not allowing all the way into Warsaw on this side? That would be strange. I didn't know anything about it not being allowing all the way in. I thought that it was all there and all going. But it looks like we're being... maybe that's just that there is going to be a bit which goes differently, but this is still going to go to Warsaw, but along the side or something. I don't know. I'm going to have to be careful because we're all changing lanes now to come off that main road. But the one that we're not being allowed on is probably the one which will be in the end the main road, and it will probably bypass Warsaw, because I'm actually trying to get into the middle of Warsaw, and so therefore everybody at the moment is going down what will in the end be just a branch of the road, and that's why it looks like we're not being allowed on the motorway right the way to Warsaw. But I think it is in fact the way that they're presenting the this is not the main east-west road anymore, but it's still a motorway going right into Warsaw, I hope. I think that's the idea of it all. I'm just improvising now because this is the first time, like I say, that I am using this piece of road, and we're not yet as far along as I've driven it, and driven both ways and been aware of it existing in Warsaw, so that would be strange for it not to be there. That's presumably... Now that's funny because I wasn't aware of that happening, a junction like that, as I went out. So it's more visible as you come back in again. It's not such a visible junction on the way out. And this is called Warszawa Zachód, this crossing, so it means East Warsaw. And it's obviously going over something, but what is it, this bridge? I can't think of a river here, so it's presumably just a railway bridge. I don't think that something big like that would be, yes, I can see rails down there. I couldn't think that something like that would be necessary to cross the river that goes through Sochachev. And the Vistula wouldn't be here yet, we wouldn't be at the Vistula yet. I'm not crossing the Vistula today. Not if I can help it anyway. And that road says it's to Kutno and Warsaw Centre. Presumably that's the one that comes out by Mori and everything like that. But I want to stay on the main road, I don't want to go down there. It's getting noticeably thicker traffic, that's for sure. So anyway, yeah, I was talking about Audible, and it's... So far, I mean, I thought about it, because I'm not now in a position where I can just spend like 100 on that, just like nothing. But in the end, you know, my wife spent about the same amount of money on various perfumes and things that she likes to have as an anniversary present from me. I said to her, what would you like? And she basically ordered it and said this is what I want, and so I just paid for it. So I thought, okay. And then she said, you know, what do you want from me? So I said, well then I'll get the an Audible subscription, because I've been thinking about it for several weeks, going on the site, you know, almost buying it and then not buying it, and then I thought, no, it's going to be my anniversary present from my wife, so that's what it is, and that means that every anniversary I will be having to renew my subscription, and that'll be a good way to make sure that I don't fall into the trap that some men fall into of forgetting their anniversary, because if I do, then I'm in trouble, because I'll also run out of my subscription to Audible, although something tells me they will be reminding me about it. So and if you're in the practice of, you know, if you once you get into the hang of listening to audiobooks, and you tend to listen to them every day, don't you, and get into them and what have you. So I know that I do listen to audio. I've listened to audiobooks for a long time, but I've listened to them on what do you call it? Well, initially I used to listen to them on tapes, of course, on cassettes. These days, I mean, what I've got here in the car, it won't even run a cassette. There's no cassette recorder in it, and that's the case for most people's in-car audio these days. But these days, it may well be that you're mainly dealing with MP3, but this car's 6-7 years old now, so it doesn't have MP3 there. If I want to listen to MP3s, well, I can listen to either a separate player, or I can use I think down there I've got something like an aerial where you can plug in one end to your MP3 player and the other becomes like an FM aerial, and you can choose a frequency and use it. I think I've shown you that before in an earlier film some years ago, but more commonly, I mean, what I've been using today to listen to the one I'm listening to at the moment is in my pocket there. I've just got my Samsung Note, and I've just been using it. It doesn't seem to drain the battery much, which is good, to have it just there talking. You can just hear it even over the noise of the car. You can hear it quite well, and it's probably better than wearing headphones because it's not damping out any of the ambient noise, and it's quality recording, so you can hear it nicely. And yeah, I mean, in the car I already have, and what I've been listening to in the car anyway is this.
Und die Tür leise schloss.
Und die Tür leise schloss.
Es ist nichts geschehen, flüsterte sie.
Es ist nichts geschehen, flüsterte sie. Anybody recognise that? Anybody recognise what that might be? A bit more, maybe. Just don't want to get into a copyright situation.
Ich habe nur einen Teller gegen die Mauer geworfen, sie herauszuholen.
Ich habe nur einen Teller gegen die Mauer geworfen, sie herauszuholen. Yeah? I only threw a plate against the wall in order to bring her out, or them out. I can't remember the context, so without the context it's difficult to know from spoken German whether it's them or her, or you, even. It's interesting, isn't it? I wonder if this is the way to leave. I'm going to try leaving off this way, yes, because this is Bilane and Vola. Bilane and Vola. Vola should be probably... Am I right? Maybe this is wrong. But it feels right. I've never done this before, but I get the impression I made the right turning. Are you letting me go? Yeah. No, I'm still on the motorway, effectively. And it says Vola. It's interesting to have that signposted in quite that way. And here we are.